You're looking for the perfect spot, aren't you?
Yeah, it's easy in line here.
Just as long as it's not like you're not like hitting it a lot with your hand or anything, it'll be fine. Those are actually pretty good. They're like $15.
Yeah.
They sound great. All right. Let's start out with the obvious. First time in America
Yes, sir.
to decoy a trial.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about this experience.
Yeah, it's been really good. I've been impressed with the place, to be fair. The dogs are a lot more, a lot different than what I expected.
Different how?
They're bigger for starters, faster. They bite a lot harder by the looks of it.
By the looks of it.
By the look of it, yeah.
That's fun. That's what I thought when I went to the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you always expect things to be different,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh wow, like this is kind of a little bit the same.
Yeah, you never really know, because your obedience looks a lot cleaner over here,
Mm.
because you've been doing the sport a lot longer, but you usually sort of think that a dog with more obedience has got less bite force.
Yeah.
In general, I think.
How did you you coming over for regionals? How did that come about? Like, did you get a call, a message, find out on Facebook? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I had a call from April over at Crown PSA, and she said Jeff was asking about me if I wanted to come over here. She asked me if I wanted to come. I didn't believe her at first. You know, you've met April.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was taking the piss a little bit, so I was like, oh, don't start this, April.
She's like, I'm governor.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Yeah.
You want to go to America? Nah. I was like, no. All right, April. What's the actual reason you're calling me for? And she was like, no, I'm being serious. So I just said, I was like, yeah, time to sign me up.
So this would be your third trial, PSA trial.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You do a lot of other decoy work as well, though. So when did you get into this in general?
In PSA or dogs?
In a bite suit.
2.5, 3 years ago. I
Wow.
just decided I wanted to. I've been training my own dog at the Rockmore for a while, watching Isa, Paul over there, Ian as well, and I just decided I wanted to get into it. I thought it was better.
How old are you?
34.
34. Got in a bite suit at 31.
Yeah.
When did you first get in a suit?
27?
Like you were 27?
Yeah, it was 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, obviously, like the growth of things in the UK for PSA has been like quite accelerated,
Yeah.
right?
It's super.
You guys have had, you know, in a matter of like 18 months, you've had, you know, seminars, like 3 trials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 trials.
3 trials. One about to be 2 decoy camps.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 6, 7, 8 clubs take off.
There's at least 5 or 6 that I know of, but there's more.
That are more
popping
5
up
or
all the
6
time.
that are more invested, maybe. Yeah. That's insane,
Mhm.
right? Like PSA is now in a lot of countries, and the growth has been like slow and difficult. I feel like over there, like you guys had, when I went first, like you guys had a huge dog culture already.
Yes. Yeah.
Just without maybe structure of like a sport with obedience.
Yeah.
Were you involved in any like of the sports or bike trials or protection events prior to PSA over there?
Yeah, so I was involved with a lot more quite heavily. I train there a lot. I trialled my dog a couple of times in the Rockmore's trial. I hadn't trialled in any of the other ones, just purely based on time and things.
And that's just like, because a lot of people aren't going to understand, like that's just kind of local, like this club puts on this event. It's like their event, right?
Yeah, it's just a working dog
Very
trial.
much like the way, from my understanding, I was a fucking infant, but the way PSA was when it started out, like backyard, like clubs having like, you know, like, hey, your club come over here and let's fucking challenge these dogs and see what happens.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like rough description of what it's like.
That's pretty much it, yeah. The Rockmore's one, Defend and Pursue, that one's got an obedience component as well,
Mm-hmm.
but it's separate. Whereas PSA, they sort of combine them into two.
And you do decoy work for those types of trials as well?
I have done, yeah.
Yeah. Anything, like I've seen some stuff you guys work at night and do some night
Yeah,
stuff?
there are some night trials, yeah. We have one called the IVD, that's a big night trial over in the UK, that's the biggest one that we have.
So that part of this weekend doesn't bother you at all? Like,
No.
Not worried about that. Good. Got any questions for Maddie here?
How'd you get so pretty?
Yeah, I was born this way, baby.
You've been on a bit of a weight loss journey with your decoying.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
I'm the complete opposite.
Tell the people how.
I was going to ask when you were due. When you first came over you did the decoy camp, and
You were considerably heavier.
I realised I was far too fat for it, so
Yeah.
I thought, fuck this, I've got to change. I realised how much I actually enjoyed the sport. I thought I'd enjoy it way before it even became a thing in the UK anyway, but there was just no chance of getting it over there because nobody really wanted it. Then you came over and we did the course, and I just thought I'm too fat for this, so I thought I've got to start changing. So when it was announced that we were going to have a decoy cert, I thought that's something to aim for, and I just went at it like a madman. And as soon as I passed that, I thought, right, the next step is senior camp, which is 4 years, so I best get training for that.
Yeah.
You know that because I told you already, I believe. So in training for that, I've got 3 years left on it, I think. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is like a good step in that direction, to kind of having some, more trial experience decoys in the UK, right? Like, Andrew, like, can attest to this as much as anyone. Like, there's hundreds of decoys that can, like, really catch the dog, like, very well, right? Or even test the dog very well. But when shit starts to, evolve on the trial field, they don't have a clue, like, what to do, right?
yeah.
So as
freeze up.
this
wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, like this wasn't in the script. Like I don't know what to do here, what's allowed, right? And that just comes from time doing trials, right? So trying to get decoys a little bit more experience to take home. For me, like is really big. And there's like a lot of talent over there, and then just what they don't know is going to be how things evolve in a trial.
Yeah, you can only see so much from a video with a PSI3. I don't know, like I was watching your videos last week when you did the trial for Anne's dog, and nothing prepares you for actually being involved in it. Like last night we did the obedience round for the 3, and it was intense. I didn't realise how intense it actually was when you're on the field. Like,
there was a couple moments where like dogs started to break away from the routine, and I'd see you look up like to one of us, and I'm like, just stay over there, keep busy, right?
Like stay busy.
Keep going with that.
Wing it.
Yep. And that's such a big part of it, right? Especially in that level, right? The other ones have a bit more of a script to follow, but in this, it's like, all right, this is how we want it to go, but like that retrieve portion didn't go as written for anyone. So it's like, all right, do I still do this charge? Do I not? What's appropriate?
Yeah. Kevin chewed me a couple of times. He's like, get your ass back over
Could
there.
see you processing, right? And then just jumped in a little bit of like, hey, make sure you go. We haven't, like on the last one, like we hadn't gotten to play out that like hard recall with the shotguns, and I'm like, just make sure you're not running into the dog. Make sure you're not running into the dog. I'm like, and I'm just fucking 4 dogs in, struggling with what to say out loud to you, and I'm like, Andrew, run it, Andrew. And that's the kind of stuff that when you get in a 3, like we make or break it for the competitors. Like we either make it like a really hard, successful routine, or a super easy giveaway, or a fucked up like that was impossible routine. So that's gonna be big, like going back to your home when you guys have a couple dogs maybe hitting that level now. So
yeah, we've got a couple now. So we've got Alec and we've got Lewis, both entering the 3s next month. should be interesting, because obviously we've never seen anything like it over there, so it's going to be a first for everybody. I'm looking forward to taking a bit of. It's not just helping me coming over here; it's helping everybody, because we can take this knowledge back over there and say this is how it's done, or it's supposed to be done,
right?
And we can improve the sport a bit more.
Yeah, and it changes every single time too. So
Yeah,
you know, I still find myself getting caught at times where I'm like, I didn't have him once last night. I was like, oh, where am I?
Yeah.
Forgot a bit here.
What's next?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm at the wrong part.
Especially when you start to like get a dog and you're like, oh, I'm in his head.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I have to be over here now. Like I gotta go.
Yeah.
Right. That's the really hard part. Is like, you know,
When you're drawing them in, you're like,
you have to in the threes and PSA. You can't just be a good decoy. You have to have a fucking brain. So you know,
That's me out there, I think.
Maybe one day you'll get there.
You know, I'm stewarding the walkthrough. I'm talking to everyone. I'm listening to the walkthrough and the judge.
Yeah.
I'm quiet.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta remember all this.
Yeah, that's why I like to go out for. Not only do we do a decoy walkthrough, but I like to try and get out there for the handler walkthrough as well, in every level, just so I know where I'm at. I can listen to the routine a bit better, and it just puts that refresher on you.
Yeah.
It's a lot to remember. You've got 3 levels there, 4 levels if you count the PDC on a normal trial.
Andrew, so if you first got in the suit at 27, how has that 30-year journey been to get to 50s right now, still decoying?
I could wear the suit perfectly fine, just walking afterwards.
Just a bit tighter.
Yeah, like it's a little bit tighter. My body doesn't work like it used to. I fall. I'm like, never been here before.
Starting the night trial at 7 p.m. Like I looked at you. I'm like, man, normally we're
a few beers in. Where you like bush light? Like,
how are you gonna function?
Like I'm starting to get tired. I'm like, I'm not drinking. I'm sober. The sun's down.
What's that like?
I guess I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I found myself like getting revved up and coming down several times during the trial last night. I was like, all right, like let's try and find some consistency here.
Yeah.
When we got done the level 1s, and I'm like, I'm getting tired.
So I've been around and watched since your decoy camp and yours, which is funny because I'm the youngest one. But
the youngest one, certified wolf muscle.
So I've seen that whole journey, but tell me about all your decoy work and stuff you did before hitting that PSA cert, where people may have started to at least this audience would have started to know who you are, right? What was before that?
So I did a lot of police dogs. Started off on police dogs. Well, actually, Joy put me in a suit first.
Okay.
Because
very first time with Joy?
Very first time was with Joy. I was working at a company who trained police dogs, and I was just doing scent work. And they're like, "Oh, do you want to wear the suit?" And I was like, "No, I don't want to get bit. I'm old. I don't want to get bit. That's not for me. That looks fun for you. I'm not doing that. Safety. I like my hands. I like my face." So Joy walked into the building one night, and she was like, "Hey, you're putting this on." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You're wearing it." So Joy forced me in a suit. She was like, "All right, you're gonna start decoying." Slowly progressed from there. Did some IGP for a little bit. Switched over to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
How long was that before you ended up in a camp?
I think my first camp, I'd been doing police dogs for about 2 years.
Okay.
And then, probably the end of my first year, I went to a PSA decoy camp.
Okay.
Had no idea what it was. The company I was working for sent me.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to this decoy camp. I was like, all right, sweet. Company vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a dog who didn't know how to out. I was brake sticking it.
Yeah.
Had a suit top, no pants because I didn't think I needed them. I wore Siggins' pants.
I wore Siggins' pants in my camp.
Yeah. I didn't even know who Siggins was. I was like, I don't know who this dude is, but he yells a lot.
Yeah, it's like wearing your dad's trousers.
Yeah.
I wore his fucking old comp pants, his old tan pants in my decoy camp.
It was the tan ones.
Yeah.
The tan ones and a Ray Allen top.
Yeah, I was fucking 19 wearing, 19, probably weighed 150 pounds, wearing 275 pound men's pants.
Yeah, he's a big dude as well.
Yeah. Do you still do anything outside of sport decoying? Help anything?
Yeah, every once in a while I'll do. Laws in New Jersey got kind of strict, so police dogs pretty much you have to be USPCA.
Mm-hmm.
So like seminars, I can still do police dogs.
Okay.
Because they bring a bunch of people in. Like I
Mhm.
still do police dogs every once in a while, but not as much. Now it's just, some protection dogs, some like WDA dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of anywhere. A lot of people who do bites for fun.
Yeah.
Just spend my life in a suit.
Yeah. Is that would you consider yourself like a full-time decoy or like a hobby, or like how would you classify yourself
I
there?
don't know. Like I like putting the suit on, so like it's kind of fun for me. Plus, I mean it does make me some money, but
Yeah.
just wearing the suit, I'd just rather wear the suit. Or like little puppies, like working little puppies.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to run full speed at a dog anymore because that whole age number, like I'll stick that to trials.
Yeah. Yeah.
But working puppies, pretty good habits and off breeds.
What did you say about off-breed?
Like a lot of off breeds I'm working too. Like just diving full into the off breed game.
Do you enjoy that, or is it more out of like necessity? Because
I actually enjoy it because they don't learn
yeah.
like a Mallory Shepherd.
Yeah.
They're like kind of thinking like, what's gonna work for this dog? There's no cookie cutter thing to it. Like
Right.
kind of got to think outside the box, look at different sorts of drives.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have a pressa, have a lot of prey drive.
Yeah. I made a comment one time that like I don't necessarily like working like really good dogs, right? Like of course I do, right? But I prefer like spending a lot of time working with a dog that's like kind of, not genetically gifted, right? Like has its fucking issues, and then I can turn that into something, right? Like, because then I actually have to like be thinking up here as well as like being physical, right? With like those really good Malinois, like you kind of just, you're kind of just wearing the right equipment at the right time, and like that dog's gonna turn out, right?
Yeah. Those baggers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I used to fucking like I used to get all nervous and like irritated when like Corso came out or a Bully came out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, fucking hell, like I'm gonna jump around for 5 minutes and this dog's not gonna do anything, and then I'll be like, oh wow, he almost bit, put him up. Like,
that was great.
But now I'm like, all right, cool, like let's see what we can make happen here, especially over like time if it's someone that I'm gonna see a few times.
Yeah, there's the trick. People like to get the people who are gonna be there for a while.
Yeah.
Take a dog that doesn't bite, now it bites. You're like, oh, look at this thing now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare when you've got a dog that's only coming once or twice, and you never get to see the improvement on it. But if it's time and time again, it's quite an exciting thing to see that dog that you didn't think would be any good make it into something.
Is this a full-time like thing for you, Matt, or
No.
do you have a job?
Yeah, I've got a full-time job.
He's
Yeah,
got a
unfortunately.
real job.
Yeah, I've got a real job,
Yeah.
paycheck and everything.
What do you
pension.
do?
I'm a overhead line engineer for the railway back home.
I don't know what that means.
So the railway.
The railway. Yeah.
Is that like trains?
He takes
Yeah,
Harry
trains,
Potter
yeah.
to the airport.
Yeah.
All right, here, kid, run at this wall.
7 3/4.
I love watching kids run at walls. Yeah, no, unfortunately I've got a full-time job.
So what your decoying's just like limited to evenings, weekends, like how often
Any
you
chance
doing
I
it?
get,
Any chance you get?
yeah, if I can put the suit on, I put the suit on. I try and get out there all the time, but it's PSA is still growing, so it's not massive right now, so there's not a lot of call for it. There is a few clubs that I can go to,
Mm-hmm.
and I try and get to them as much as possible because of my full-time job. It's very difficult. So
It's kind of even more remarkable that like you've gotten this good in a pretty short amount of time while working a job, right? Like for like myself, like it kind of made sense because like I was very young and I took an internship and then a job at Tar Heel and was decoying police dogs 5 days a week, and then decoying sport dogs 2 days a week, and 2 years of doing that every day, like like you can kind of make sense, you can get somewhere, like, but like just dedicating your spare time to this at a slightly older age, like it's pretty remarkable.
I've tried to.
Were you
Especially with all those tea breaks.
I've drinking tea on the move, mate. I've got a good cup.
You know, got boil some water real quick.
Let me stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning drinking tea. Like I did last night.
I come out of my room last night, 3 in the fucking morning. He's
Making tea.
pot, boiling water.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep without my tea, man.
That's how he was going to bed the other day. He made us tea.
Yeah, I can't go to bed.
I went in and I told Sierra, she was like, "Do you think you can make another one? I bet it's really good." It's not like that bullshit we have.
You know, we got some Lipton packets.
Yeah.
Did you travel with your own?
I did, yeah, because I know you guys don't have tea.
No,
I'm
not
not
like
drinking
that.
that shit.
We don't have no English store.
No. No. But yeah, I've tried to absorb as much information as I possibly can, anywhere I can get it. I travel to places, I get certain specific people I know are very good to train my dog, and while I'm there, I just pick their brains.
When I first came over to the UK, last April,
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, I heard your interview and heard Jerry talk about this on his podcast," and I was like, "Wow, you're the one listener."
Yeah, the one listener, yeah. I listen to all these podcasts.
So yeah, I mean, you could tell that like you, you had gotten bit by the bug, right?
Yeah,
Like, and you were gonna be into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's quick.
Were you an athlete like as a kid? Like, did you do any sports or just?
You saw me when I first started. I
That's
was
it.
a big tub of goo, mate. That's
You
the
didn't play any rugby, no soccer.
No,
Alright.
I did. I've done a bit of martial arts, but nothing serious. So, but I've just decided to dedicate the time to going to the gym, getting fitter.
You should teach Andrew.
I should. But he's way fitter than me. You saw him in the suit yesterday.
He's a very specific type of fit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Decoy fit.
Yeah,
That's it.
like Tyson Fury.
End of it. Yeah.
The suit comes on. The suit comes on. I will not be out of breath.
No,
Yeah. Suit comes off. and-
Yeah. I'm
Better
getting
not
up.
ask you
I'm
to
getting up with the suit off.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen you jog or run without a suit on. I don't think it would look right.
I saw him try and get up out of the couch earlier and he nearly fainted.
There's a lot of guys like that, What do you think that is? Like, is that just drive? Like, is that just
Yeah, like under pressure, like.
yeah?
I'm really good under pressure, like.
Do you even like? Do you get more? Like, do you get a better wind or like a second wind in trial
Yeah.
versus like training? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
I find that like I'll get tired. I'm like worked 4 dogs in training. I'm like, oh fucking hell, I got a trial this weekend. Like, I'm out of shape. And the trial comes and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Consistently every week I work multiple dogs a day. I'll have 10 dogs at one time on a Monday.
Yeah.
Monday afternoon, 10 dogs at one time. So like consistent, just in the suit.
You work a lot of trials as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Decoy sheep.
I don't think anyone has done more trials in the last few years than Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't got a lot of trials, so it's hard to get the actual trial experience in a suit. It's a lot different to training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot different.
Yeah, it's
Definitely
real
a lot
time
different.
and you have to make those decisions.
Yeah, you've got
Like
everybody
that.
watching you. There's a lot of pressure there.
Because in training, like you pause, you look at the handler, like what do you want here,
Yeah.
right? Like,
You have to fix it sometimes.
and now it's like
Yeah.
I'm only looking at the handler to tell him to come get their dog because it fucking
Yeah.
bit an OB,
Yeah.
right?
Like, do you want me to work the grip while I'm here?
Like you want to earn, you want your money's worth, your $80 worth, or
Yeah.
what?
Like Batman at Nationals, he bit obedience, and I was like, "Yo, don't worry, I'll work the grip." Good boy.
Just let him enjoy it for a
Yeah.
little while. That was like Chris from Montana in the Arizona trial.
Yeah.
And his dog is like, leave your dog in front of the obstacles right at the beginning of the routine. And he walks away and the dog fucking goes into the grip right away. He goes, can I just leave him there for a minute? Like, all right, you got 30 seconds. Like,
Yeah. Slow walk over.
yeah.
Oops, I've tripped. I need to tie my shoelaces. Yeah.
I think like for the guys that, like back to the being in decoy shape, but maybe not necessarily any other kind of shape, it's like comes down to technique, right? Like
Yeah.
you're very smooth and fluid and there's not a lot of wasted effort or movement on the field, right? Like it's like not that Jeff Riccio is, out of shape, but like the technique is just so smooth, so flawless that he's like doesn't really get tired because
Me and
it's just efficiency of movement,
Me
right?
and Jeff have this conversation all the time, We conserve energy when we have to, we explode when we have to, but the technique, that's what it is. I mean, I'm not sitting there fighting to catch a dog, I'm just letting it happen.
And you like in the drive too, right? Like you see some guys, they're kind of like running through mud. They're like squirming all over, like lots of erratic different movements. And they finish the drive and they're huffing and puffing, right? But then when someone gets every dog in the pocket, has a nice fluid drive, the form is the same, like you save a lot of wasted energy that you do, like that you burn when you're fighting for that position a lot, like someone newer might do. So I think that's a big bit of it too, because like that's where you get a little more tired, right? It'd be driving.
Yeah, it'd be driving, fighting the drive. So
Yeah.
I mean, technique. I mean, this big body kind of puts them in shape. I mean, the belly, they got to cross their body over it, so they kind of have to go in the pocket. So it's a little bit easier.
Something to rest their chin on.
Yeah. Well, shit. What else? We had 2 dogs bite in the level 3, and I think every other dog passed. Every dog in the 1s and the 2s passed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got a lot of dogs to work tonight.
Yeah.
What are you guys looking forward to?
To be honest, I love that attack on handler in the level 1. I love it. It's my favourite one to do. Andrew gave me a few choice words yesterday because that's his favourite too. So,
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I do enjoy that one, especially with the can curtain. And I'm looking forward to doing the 3s because never done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we got two dogs that have a chance of, making it all the way through. They've both been there. It's not like, I mean, it can always happen, but it's not like they're gonna just get to the first thing and like not be able to do it. Like we're probably gonna get to go through a lot of stuff. So
It's all the fun parts.
yeah. That's the worst when you set up a level 3 protection. It takes an hour and then just the dog no outs on the first thing or can't muzzle fight, and you're like, well,
that's
pack it up.
yeah.
I guess that's it.
It fucking sucks, honestly. Especially as a judge, because then like you unveiled it to everyone. Everyone learned it. The handlers learned it, and then you're like, wow, he did 0 seconds of this routine, and I can't use it again.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it when it's right before a good part too. You're in a good part.
Yeah,
the environmental's like, wow, like no one can see me but me. Like with Fury.
Yeah.
When you got your second leg with Fury, I mean, the back of a trailer, throw him against the wall.
There's a couple of those.
Those are the fun things. You're really testing your friend's dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you want them to succeed, but you're like, this is fun.
Yeah, especially if you've trained that dog yourself as well. You want to test how good your work's been.
Yeah. Like especially with Patty, like I can't wait for Patty. Like, I got some vengeance.
It'll be interesting to see if she's more targeted on you or me.
Yeah.
Because she's got a bit of hatred there for me too. So.
Like when she took me out, she was like going towards Matt. She veered off. I was like, whoa.
Yep.
I'm not flexible.
Yeah, like especially with that like really fast lower leg catch, like it's just the right like weight and speed to just twist you around.
Yeah.
You work a lot of leg dogs over there?
There's not a massive amount now.
No.
We've got Jen. There's a few more emerging. A couple of bullies, leg dogs.
Oh, that's not fun.
No.
Dude, that one.
Yeah. Holding.
Pulled Tom down on the freeze up. Do you remember that? It was the level 1 passive. Sorry, Tommy.
It's alright. You're probably too cheap to pay for Patreon anyway.
Good catch, right? Good drive, freeze up, and it's already 3 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
He's like, freezes up, the dog gives one good pull and just falls.
Yeah.
But he gave a stick hit on the fall. It's like,
it's hardcore, Tom.
I felt myself going down my hand.
I'm on the floor, boy.
Not you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks when it's like a bowling ball down there.
That was a really difficult weekend in the snow.
Yeah. I've seen that
you guys
trial
did
on
great.
Facebook.
Yeah, it was
And
horrible.
I was like, oh, that looks.
That was the first one that we'd decoyed by ourselves, wasn't it? Were you the senior or were you the judge?
You're just Clay being the senior and all UK decoys.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was even nightmare.
Trying to do my first trial, right, with all of their first trial, in the snow, limited time, limited daylight, full trial. Yeah, it was, and all the way up through the 2s, right? So it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because it went dark on the first day as well, didn't it?
You guys sitting there with headlights,
Yeah.
facing the field.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had.
Because it got dark over there at 4:30
Yeah.
in the winter, so I'm like, oh fuck, like.
Yeah.
We're not gonna make it.
And then like with all the snow, I had the wipers going on the car for the car jacks.
Yeah, so you could see. Yeah.
You're running at a dog. It's like I'm in danger.
Yeah, I mean they did great. Like nobody really fell. I mean like little things like that, like slipping on a freeze up, but like everybody caught and drove in that.
It was
like
difficult to do
awful
a car
conditions.
jack because you just couldn't get that purchase to fire back. You know. And
Yeah,
take a
you're
step
slipping
back.
away.
So I had to wear like soccer boots, and fire myself back into the car. And it's
Soccer cleats.
Soccer cleats.
Football, soccer boots.
Yeah, it's football boots. You
They're not boots.
You play girls rugby.
Yeah. You're gonna call my Crocs boots too?
Yeah, that was a fun trial.
All right. How are you feeling being the first international decoy, true international decoy, to come to a regional event?
I'll be honest with you, it didn't actually sink home until Wednesday last week, or this week, sorry. I didn't think it was going to happen. I was just sat there thinking this isn't for real. And then I just sat there at home and got nervous for about 2 hours. And I thought, well, I'm just going to do it. So just full send, let's have a go. I was really excited. I've been mega excited. And when I got over here, met everybody's really nice, friendly, welcome me with open arms. Yeah, love it here. I'm really happy to be here actually. I'd like to come back.
They talked about a couple of years ago. They talked about that was like a new thing from the directors meeting. Like they were gonna try and have an international decoy to like a couple regionals every year.
Yeah.
Because like in their countries, like they might only have 1 or 2 trials opportunities all year. So it's like there's no way to move up in our decoy rankings and like ways to like get more classes of experience on like a little higher pressure and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit and it didn't. Nobody traveled, right? So like that didn't happen. And then when I heard that they were gonna bring someone over, I was like, absolutely, bring any of them. I mean, I'd be fucking stoked to have any of those guys come over and decoy here, right? To be able to
awesome.
Bring that back right now, like the timing of it for me, like is perfect, right? Because like you're doing it here in June, we got level 3s, and then next month you guys have a trial, and there's level 3s, so it's like perfect timing, right?
Yeah, this was a massive deal for me because I think I spoke to you before, didn't I? When you came over and judged that trial, I said to you, when can I decoy nationals? So I remember saying that to you at the end of the trial, and you said in about 4 years when you're senior, and it was a massive dream of mine to come over here and decoy just a trial. So regionals is huge for me, to be honest. I'm really thankful to be here.
It takes a long time to like kind of move up through our decoy systems. But that's like super important because like we talked about earlier, like it's not about just catching on script, it's about what you can do when the script goes awry. And like watching the guys at nationals when they're all of them in the 3s have been there a ton of times, and then the judge doesn't have to worry, right? The dogs never get an easy opportunity. They're just all adapting and evolving to what happens on the field while remaining with a level of consistency. That's what's really cool. Like, when guys have, 3, 4, 5 years of trial experience and they all get into, like that nationals trial together, right? That's where like, it's not about it is about the catches, but that's the part, like as another decoy that I'm like, ooh, look at all these like decisions being made, right? And it's just like perfect, right? Like deciding like, ooh, that dog fucked up. We don't want to,
Yeah, we should. You've passed a cert. You should all be able to catch a dog. It's like you say, it's the decision making.
Everyone can catch now.
Yeah.
Everybody can catch now.
Everybody catches great.
Yeah, Singers doesn't pass anybody that can't catch a dog.
No.
So.
No. Yeah, then it just comes down to how much work are they doing.
Yeah.
How many times are they getting on the field?
That's the problem we've got over there. I've put my name down to do the next Decoy cert that Siggins is coming over to do in August, just so I can get more experience and learn a bit more that I might have forgotten already. So
Psycho.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I loved
forgotten.
it. Yeah, definitely forgotten. I loved that camp. I love Siggins. He's fucking brilliant.
It's my favorite weekends.
Yeah,
He probably talks exactly like you.
yeah.
That's why you love it. He goes in there and he's just like at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I really liked that weekend. I think I burned 15,000 calories that weekend.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I fucking believe
I
it.
couldn't get enough food then when I went back home. Everyone was like, "We're coming out for a beer." I was like, "Nope, no."
He had some eggs and beans.
Yeah, beans, some proper bacon. None of this fucking
That is not
proper
proper
bacon.
none of
bacon.
this streaky shit that you've got over here.
Well, yeah, I'm really looking forward to protection tonight, and I think it's about time we're gonna go get some fucking food before the trial.
Yeah.
That way we can kind of eat and digest and not
Throw up on the field.
Yeah.
not throw up on the field.
I'm still recovering from that Mexican you took me to yesterday. That was vile.
Or it might have been the tramway breakfast.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah, that was the day before as well.
Did you do the tramway special? You go to tramway and then you wait a little bit and you go over to the San Felipe.
Yeah.